Hello everyone, this is Dude Blender and let's jump right in. We're making this beautiful iridescent material with just a few nodes in a couple of minutes. Create a shape in the material and name it Iridescent. Go to the shading workspace and turn the metallic all the way up to 1. We want the material to react to the view angle, so go ahead and add a layer weight node and connect the facing connector to a color ramp. Add any colors you want to the ramp. I'll just go Roy G Biv, the colors of the rainbow. The more the geometry faces directly at the camera, the more the colors on the left will show. And the more the geometry is at an angle in relation to the camera, the more the colors on the right will show. Connect your color ramp to the color of the shader. Now adjust the blend node to something that you like, and you're basically done with the base material. I'll add a subdivision to the monkey so that you can see it better. Let's turn the roughness down a little bit. Now there are a couple of things that I want to show you. The first one is making a subtle variation in the layer weight node so that it does not look so perfectly symmetrical. Let's add a geometry node, and we're gonna connect the pointiness to a color ramp. Control-Shift left click on the color ramp to visualize it. This particular node only works in cycles, so make sure that you're on the rendered view and that you're using cycles as your render engine. Now let's bring these colors together so that the effect is more noticeable. Once it looks something like this, connect the color to the blend mode in the layer weight node. Now we can just output the shader. You can adjust the black and white colors and change them to grayish hues to get an effect that you like. Now the blend of the layer weight node will change depending on whether the part of the geometry is more concave or more convex. Finally, we'll add a bit of metal flake for some extra oomph. Add a noise texture and scale it to something like 250. Set the detailed roughness and distortion to 0. Ctrl-T to add the coordinate mapping nodes. Now use the object connector. Add a color ramp after the noise texture and we'll bring the colors closer together to sharpen the transition between the lower and the higher parts of the texture. Now we'll connect this to a bump node. Now connect normal to normal and we'll lower the strength to something like 0.2 and the distance to something very small, something like 0.0001. Now we need to mix these two colors, so Ctrl-Shift and left click and drag between these two to create a mix color node. At this point, adjust the parameters of the noise texture and the color ramp to achieve an effect that you like. You can also continue to adjust the bump parameters. Now finally, we're gonna turn the clear coat up all the way up and turn the clear coat roughness all the way to 0 to give it a little bit more shine, and to make it look that the flake is inside the paint. This is how my final tree ended up looking. Now one final tip I want to give you. When you're rendering materials like this, and especially when they have effects like metal flake or glitter, and you render properties, you might want to not use the denoiser and use a lower number of samples, something like 32 or 64, and try and see how that looks. The reason is that the noise that is generated in the image actually works pretty well with this material. Hopefully you can see this on your screen, but this render is made with a sampling rate of 32. This is 64. You might have noticed a little bit of change here, and this is 1024. So 1024, 32. I don't know if you can see the difference in your screen, but this accentuates that sugary, magical, grainy texture, and in this very particular application, I think that less is really more. So again, experiment and see what works best for you. That's it for today. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the video, and connect with me on TikTok and Instagram with the handle @dude_blender. I'm Dude Blender. Happy blending.